Welcome back to the Back Then When podcast, where we bridge eras, preserve culture, and build legacy. So, next episode, right? So, I think this episode we're talking about Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, and his tribe. You know, and we're going to put a different spin to it because, you know, New York, the New York-DC relationship going back into the 80s, like I know everybody look at the lens of all of that from the hip hop world and the culture, but we knew it way
the time
before.
he spent here.
Yeah, the time he spent here. Yeah. You know, when DC was repping go-go and New York was repping hip hop, it was a whole new different world, man. So, you know, first and foremost, the dude beat the major parts of his case.
Yeah.
What y'all think about that?
Well, it's the law.
Yeah.
It's the law of the land.
Yeah.
Diddy was no different than any of those white folks, rich white folks that we know do the things they do, and they go to court. And the justice system is, you know, kind of lenient on some things, and some things that the prosecutor just can't prove within the law.
Yeah.
So, and you know, you got a jury. It's up to the jury to decide after they get their instructions, and they came back with their verdict.
Yeah, yeah. Got you with that.
I'm cool with what the verdict said. They put the play in front of the court, in front of the jury. The prosecution side didn't prove the play the way they wanted to, and Diddy's side proved the case that way. So I'm going with the verdict. So however it happened, I'm good with it. But you know, he's blessed because he's not going to spend a lot of time behind those walls.
You think you think he's done the majority of his time already, or you think they're gonna try to give him that whole 10 or 20 they talking about?
No, the feds won't give a baby a hug. I don't believe.
I don't even think he's gonna get sentenced for the 10 or 20.
No, I don't think it's. I think it's gonna be around 4 years.
Yeah, if that.
You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
Then he already spent what he been in there 7 months. 8. I don't know how long he's been in
since September last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's almost a year.
I got him getting something moved. They won't. He went to trial. They're going to get something out of it.
Yeah. Some people say they're gonna make an example out of him.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I just don't think that he's going to
he a
get
black man
the
in
maximum.
America.
I don't think he's gonna get the maximum.
Okay.
That's why he's gonna get 4 to 5 years.
He's a black man in America, and you know
I could be wrong.
that they use us as an example for how they gonna do the sentences and the time and all that. They use us as, you know, the ones, you know, we the ones generally that get hit the hardest. They tax us.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I just don't know. We can't call it, but I just don't think he's going. I mean, I don't think he's going to get the maximum of time that he could get. You know, and for the charges that he did get convicted on, I just don't think it's warranted.
Yeah.
For them to give him the maximum time, unless they're trying to, you know,
I believe he's going to get something because he went to trial. That's called you're going to have to, you know, taxpayers' money, all that.
Yeah.
He's going to get something.
So us being from being around in basically the 90s, because I went to Wilson, and then graduating from Wilson, I went to Howard. And my freshman year at Howard, I remember some dudes around there talking about some dude by the name of Puffy, you know, and by this time, maybe there was a few cats that was still that used to roll with him, that used to kind of hang around the campus and stuff, you know, but, I never saw him and stuff, but I remember the reputation of him and stuff like that. Like, when was the first time, like, in the city that you remember hearing people talk about this dude?
Oh, the women. He was dealing with some homegirls.
Okay.
You know what I mean? One in particular, you know, I don't want to say no name, put nobody out there, but we have pictures with him and, you know, a couple of ladies. I definitely got them from my, in my collage.
Yeah.
But, you know, Puffy, the first time I heard about him, he used to run around in this little Volkswagen. I don't think it was a cabriolet, some little black Volkswagen.
Okay.
And we used to joke, you know, you remember how he dressed. He used to have a Gumby haircut. It's Obama. It's Obama, though. You know, he wasn't nobody. He wasn't making no money yet. He was a Howard student. He was trying to make his play in the city.
Yeah.
But I think Puffy has always had that gift of gab.
Yeah.
So, you know, he was able to at least get some attention from a couple of IDC girls, and but you know, they would they would have wiped away with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't his that game that he had in New York. I'm sure he wouldn't have been able to. Yeah, well, I'm positive that he didn't get through to the women, like, you know, be able to captivate them, even if he had some money. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things I like to.
So what I'm hearing you say is that even if you have money, you still gonna be a cold-blooded bang.
To IDC girl, IDC girls going, you know, they going to tear your ass up. You know, they gonna get the money from you, but you're not gonna run them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially back then, they used a cold bammer. You know what I mean? And you know. Luckily, he won't run into one that might set him up or some shit like that. But at the same time, you're not gonna run no game on. They gonna run the game on you. That's how our women work. You know, they wasn't going for that shit back then.
I can remember. Well, I know I was at the Metro Club a couple of times. I think I might have seen him in there, but I wasn't even. We didn't notice. You know, dudes who dance. You know, yeah, he likes to dance, but we like.
Oh, the type of hip hop dance.
Yeah, you know, all that.
Well, it was a haircut off the break.
But my man, but I know some good men that through a concert, really being around Puff. I can remember back like early 90s, they did a party up at the Crampton, the auditorium up at Howard.
Yeah, Crampton.
My man did a little entertainment thing. They had Biggie. It was a few artists that was just coming out. I might have said Craig Mack or one of them. But I remember him being up there. They did a show for Howard coming back to school in the Crampton. That's what that's my little first time being around him, seeing him in action behind stage and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think maybe around 92.
Yeah, I didn't put a year to it. I was talking about like 88.
I want to say around then they brought in Supercat to Howard. They did a concert. And remember that's when Biggie and Puffy, they was rapping on the remix for him.
Okay.
You know, so like and I also remember like and I saw I think a piece with Sadat X from Brand New Beats. And he was talking about if to be a hip hop artist, one of the rap artists, you couldn't do a show in DC unless you pegged in with a go-go band. And for real, I don't care how big of a rap artist you were, like the best you really could get is, you know, the go-go, like Essence will go on, they do a first set, you get that, you know, during the break, rap artist could get his time then. But then after, you know, the go-go band do the second set. But they couldn't put the hip-hop group
before
or after.
Yeah.
Because they say people will leave out.
People get mad.
Yeah.
People was.
You know, we were ruthless with that. And you know, and again, you know, y'all. I know y'all can remember. We were ruthless when it came to even you couldn't be knock-knee back then. And you couldn't look funny. Diddy was a funny looking dude. You know what I'm saying? We were going Joan off the break. You know what I mean? And that's why we wasn't in DC. We wasn't with the groupie stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wherever
we
he
got
was,
our own swag,
you know, I don't care about how much a celebrity, how much money. The guys and the dudes and the women, he wasn't nobody. You know what I mean? So that's how we thought about Diddy. So now when he started coming back, doing the homecoming every year, you know, it was always a big party. You know, he got with Mark Bonds, and it was always a big party. You know, each year because that's what we did. We looked forward to going down to Howard, do the homecoming, be on the yard, go to the parties, especially Mark Bonds' party. You know what I mean? So that's when more people started paying attention to Diddy, like he was an actual celebrity. Yeah. And we just going down there. We going down there for the girl.
Right.
We ain't still anything. We ain't going to see Diddy. We going to see the people that's coming out to the party.
Of course.
We hanging out. You know what I mean? So it was more of that.
Yeah. Well, shit, it definitely seemed like the dude was living that rock star life.
Yeah,
right?
no question.
He was living that slate, you know, and matter of fact, when they did the trial, it was all salacious information about his sex life and the addiction, rock and roll and drugs and all of that stuff.
Question.
Like, should he get, or you think that he got a pass for some of the stuff that they said he did that was, you know, that brought up the charges because he was dealing with, you know, the rock and roll, drug, you know, crazy sex lifestyle? You think he should have got it? You think they were right to kind of give him a pass for some of that stuff, or what?
Well, if you're dealing with adults, you know, if they don't find anything in a situation where Diddy was dealing with underage women or underage boys, girls. Dudes. You know, you just never know. They live in that wild lifestyle. If he, you know, if someone is grown and making their own decisions, you know, if they choose, using drugs is a choice. If there's no, we have never heard about Diddy being diagnosed with a mental illness, or we haven't heard about his mother or his father, you know, with using drugs or something like that. He might have seen some stuff when he was young, but we haven't had a mental health issue that we've heard about with Diddy. So, you know, if Diddy was using drugs or, you know, partying with drugs, that's his prerogative, you know, and he didn't, we can't blame that on, you know, you know, he had a problem, so we got to give him a pass because he had a problem. You know, that was his choice. You know what I mean?
So hold on, because I might have to push back a little bit on that. Is addiction a choice?
Who said that Diddy was addicted to anything?
Well, I think some of that evidence that came out, I think part of what the case was is they were saying that he was suffering from the addiction of pills and alcohol and things like that. Like,
hold on. Can't you can be a sex addict too?
Yeah, you be a sex addict too, true. But I don't subscribe to that. To me, that's bullshit. Okay. Like this motherfucker rich. I'm not gonna feel sorry for Diddy because he decided he rich, he got access to all this shit. He choosing to use drugs and party. You can get addicted to the fun. Yeah. Motherfucker, he having fun. He partying, using drugs, and if other people he's around choose to subscribe to what he's doing because you being a groupie or you just want to have fun as well, you want to party, we can't say, okay, well, all these people have addiction problems. Okay. Including Diddy.
I think we all have addictions. I think everybody deals with mental health. I think everybody has an issue. Yeah, right. With their mentality.
Yeah. But we got our vices.
Yeah. With Diddy's case, I think people know what they're getting into when they go to parties with Diddy. No problem. So now you want to go to a party, you see certain things. That's your choice, like we talked about. Yeah. But don't come back now because something happened. Now all of a sudden, you know, this happened to me. Yeah. You have a choice in that. Guess what? Those same people that were saying, I did this at that party, they're gonna be back at his parties again.
That's why I said if it's not somebody that's underage.
So what you're saying is all of them had a choice on whether or not they was gonna slick themselves up with that baby oil or not.
Yeah. What you mean? Don't we make choices every day?
Yeah. They put a gun to your head and say, put that baby oil on you.
Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. We haven't now. If there's came out with some evidence like that, like that, I just say, this motherfucker was holding people hostage.
Yeah, that's different.
This motherfucker had an AR-15.
That's different.
Y'all gonna do this? That's different.
There's an old saying that says that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And so, like, to put it in perspective with this, like, that I think that he was addicted to the lifestyle. Like, anytime that you have that much power and influence, and people and it's a lot of people you can imagine that was willing to do anything. They dick riders, right? That's what we call them. They willing to do anything to be around that dude.
That's right.
You know, that creates its own kind of sense of
rise, and it's a fall. In that lifestyle, it's a rise and it's a fall. Yeah. That's right. We are witnessing, Diddy went years with that rise. Yeah. Now we are witnessing the fall. Yeah. That's what happens.
But again,
in that lifestyle.
Let's say the same people, when he comes home, they're going to be at his parties. Mm-hmm. I don't care what nobody says. Let me give you this, right? So somebody who's poor, right? Somebody who's poor, who's let's say they're a freak. Yeah. Everybody has it in them, right? Let's be honest. So because he's poor, he's a creep. Mm-hmm. Feel me? The dude is standing on the porch looking at the girl going down the street, but he's just she's attractive. But he's creeping right now, right? But if you got money, you ain't a creep. Right. You become eccentric. You know what I'm saying? So your needs get a little bit, because of the style the lifestyle that you're on.
And that's unfortunately the society we live in.
Yeah, that's all it is.
You know what I mean? It's always been the rich and poor. Yeah. It's always been that. So, the rich people, the rich people get away with so much.
It's like Epstein. He was doing that for years. You had the
yeah.
presidents, you had, high people in Congress hanging around him.
Yeah.
And he's messing with young ladies or whatever.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah. So like thinking of all that, right? And I think you hit something that's big talking about that he was the action is creepy, right?
Yeah.
Cause even maybe 2 years before it all hit the fan for him, 50 was on his back. And he was putting stuff out regularly, like pressing him out for that freaky stuff and calling him out. And what side was you on? Like, did you think that 50 was doing too much? Or do you think that like you was hearing and it was like, okay, that's
it was just comedy. I
Okay.
mean, you got to think about it. 50's doing that in the times of social media. So you got to think Diddy, most of the stuff Diddy was doing way before social media.
Come on.
You know what I mean? So it's like now he being called out. People talk.
Yeah.
And you got somebody, me and 50 Cent the same sign.
Okay.
We both cancers. So I know these type of cancers. Once they get started, he's not going to stop. And 50, he really being funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just being funny. And I didn't take a side. I'm just saying this 50 being 50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this Diddy is, hey, you a victim. Once you become out there, especially social media, because it's different now, something happens, it's going to spread, especially if you're a celebrity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and 50 knows that.
Yeah.
So I really didn't take a side. I said, this is the life you've chosen.
Because we was watching it on social media play out. Facts, I'm gonna ask you this. Do you think 50 and how he was going at P. Diddy, do you think that was bullying or actually anti-bullying? Because for real, being so that Puffy had all of the influence where he was able to use his influence to pull people in, to do certain things. And I'm not saying that the people who went along with the baby oil shenanigans, that they was victims. But the fact is he was using his clout to be able to sway them one way or another. So do you think 50's approach to it was bullying or anti-bullying?
I think I give it to 50. He's a bad boy. He knows what sells. Controversy.
Yeah.
I think people stay relevant.
Yeah.
I don't know too much of the facts of between 50 and Diddy, but I could just see 50 because, that keeps your name out there, relevance. And I understand it.
Yeah.
It's a hustle. I love it.
Right.
But I think people had a choice, man.
Yeah.
So somebody blaming Puff for, I'm not knocking what the women went through. I understand. You know what I mean? But
not insensitive.
But people have choices. And I just don't understand. People always want to point fingers when you get in trouble. Before you got in trouble, everything was cool.
Right.
But now all of a sudden, it's hard for me. I don't.
Yeah, and that's why I'm gonna keep repeating underage.
Right.
Man, it's a difference.
Yeah.
A major difference, and it's illegal.
Right.
To get force somebody that's underage to do something like the things that was going on. Okay, and that's what that was what I was waiting for throughout that whole trial.
Yeah, yeah.
I was waiting for something to come up like that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it didn't, right?
It didn't.
Right.
And they tried, of course.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get, obviously nothing that they came up with stuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
be honest, when 50 used to be going in on Slim, did y'all used to be laughing? Did y'all find it funny?
Always funny.
I mean,
I'll be laughing. It's like, that's why I said I just passed it on, but it's just scrolling.
Yeah.
Yes, but I got to the point where I wasn't laughing. I was like, when it first started, I was laughing at a few things because 50 is funny when it comes to certain things. But then you just keep scrolling out here. 50's just still going.
Yeah.
It got to that point.
And so I wanna run with that right there and turn this a little bit more into a more serious conversation.
Okay.
See if I can get some thorough answers from y'all. So growing up, young black men, 3 of us, you go through preteen, puberty, getting into, young adult, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they was creepy dudes. And and let's call a spade a spade. They were sexual predators that was chasing behind our friends, the group of folks that we ran with. And so, no one really talks about sexual abuse of black males, black children. I mean, the emphasis is on girls.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
But it was happening to cats that we was growing up with. You know, and so the whole sense of like Puffy and how when 50 Cent was going at him and how there really weren't a lot of people who were standing up for P. Diddy, like leave him alone. Do you think that some of that tied into the sense that we experienced and we knew around our hood? Some of them had money, some of them had muscle, but these dudes was predators. You know, do you think that it hit a chord with us in our community?
You're talking about as far as now.
Yeah.
Going through it. You know, it would make you think about things. That's why I said, you know, I was looking for that to really find something bad. I was looking for something bad about what he was doing. And of course, yes, you know, I remember being in high school and you had the older dudes. We could tell the older dudes were coming to pick up some of the young girls. They just, and they, you know, they come in the Benz, the BMW, whatever, coming to pick up some of the young girls from school. You know, and we would see it, but we wouldn't think anything else about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We wouldn't go home and say, Mom, I saw this, man, this dude looked like he was about 30. Coming to pick up, you know, one of my high school girlfriends. And, you know, we just didn't do that.
Right.
But it's on our mind.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's funny you said something about, you know, men abusing women, but there was a lot of women also doing the same thing. You know, it happened to me personally when I was 12. You know, one of my sister's friends who was supposed to be watching me, you know what I mean? She took advantage of that situation, and she ended up being my first. You know, it was even she was like 17 years old. Yeah. You know what I mean? My sister was 17 at the time. And I never talked about it. I never told my sister. I never told my mother. And, you know, I might have told a couple of my homies. And it was like, oh, that wasn't bad.
Right.
It wasn't a bad thing, but it was a bad thing. You know what I mean? And especially looking at it in hindsight. And you know, it made me I had a bad porn addiction. You know, and when I look back hindsight, I started looking at porn any way I could. And back then, it was magazines. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for older women in these magazines. You know, I think it kind of made me have an attraction to older women than I probably should have at that time.
Right.
And I blame that. You know, I blame that. And I never told. You know, I never just told my family members, and my sister was still hanging out with this girl. Like after that. And I didn't feel like I was abused or molested or anything, but I actually was. And I just don't think us men in our community, black men, not just in the DC community, but everywhere that this happens, we just don't talk about it because society looks at it. Even in the social media now, I'm looking at the threads of these teachers that get caught dealing with these, you know, the students. And I'm looking at the threads. There's a lot of dudes in the thread talking about, man, I wish I would have had a teacher like that. It's like, it makes it acceptable.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's totally
and a lot of that's that toxic masculinity.
Absolutely.
The sense that, you know, if even regardless of your age, that you always supposed to be ready to roll if an opportunity comes with some play.
No question.
Let me put it this way though. So we see that happen a lot over the last few years with, you know, women messing with underage kids, underage men, boys, right? Yeah. But it's different if it's controversial because, like, if that was our daughter, we'd be ready to kill that teacher.
Man,
but the father of a son, we talked about this, is going to be like, okay, so
it's like a badge of honor. You know, you know what I mean? Especially if you don't have a father in the house. Right. It might be a little different if you got a father in the house.
Yeah.
Because that father in the house gonna get some pressure from the mother. Nigga, you out your mind? That motherfucker, that such and such did this, you know what I mean? But a father that's outside the house, that you like that. See, you might meet up with the father that weekend, or you talk to your father, he come get you for that weekend. You tell your father what happened, he might make, man, what?
That's 30-year-old messing with a 15-year-old girl's gonna be like, you like, I kill this fool.
I had a brother, he passed away. He used to live around O Street.
Oh wow.
And he used to talk about how when he was maybe 11 or 12, that his father went and got him a prostitute. And said, you know, go in that room and don't come out until you lose your virginity. You know, and so like there is this sense, you know, that with that having sex and breaking your virginity is coming of age for boys or young
double
men.
Standard, man.
It's a double standard, man, and it's also injurious, right?
No question.
Yeah.
Anything, what? God forbid.
Yeah.
She get pregnant.
Yeah.
What if my sister's friend would have got pregnant?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
That's
you
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's crazy when you think about it. And same with men and women. You know what I mean? A man doing that is some kind of sickness. I mean, it's really sick. And I used to watch that show. It's kind of To Catch a Predator.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
Is it Chris Hansen? I can't remember the host's name. But just watching how that go down when you actually see somebody, this man preying on this grown man preying on this young girl, and the young girl could be lying about her age.
Yeah.
But there are signs. There's some kind of sign, especially when you actually meet up with them.
Yeah. They talk about Diddy. That's what we're talking about. They talking about Diddy. But I can remember back in like '91, right? I was at Maryland University playing basketball, the little in the little dorm area. You know what I'm saying? We used to all go up there play ball. I can never forget walking up to the court, and I see a group of people coming, right? And it happened to be R. Kelly, and I'm looking because I think it was the public announcement back then.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at him coming, and I'm like, I'm telling my man, I'm saying, man, that's that dude who got that song out, right? This is probably like '91.
Yeah.
So I can remember it was a little girl walking by. And I said, man, that's that dude from that group. And then she looked at me and she was like, and guess who the girl was?
Who?
Aaliyah.
Wow. How old was she at the time?
I know she was young. This has got to be 91, early 92 maybe.
Yeah.
I just know he had a popular song out back then before he was big.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember her walking.
When
they're like PA, right there and she's right here. And I said, I'm telling the guys with me, I say, man, that look like that dude. And he had some Jordans. I'll never forget. Yeah. And I was like, that looked like that dude who got that song out. And she looked right at me. She was like, it is. Like, I just was like, man, but we don't talk about how young she was. Come to find out, R. Kelly,
And speaking, of course, we're not gonna make the conversation about R. Kelly, but R. Kelly is someone I really believe, it was more of a mental illness.
Yeah,
R. Kelly doesn't deserve to be locked up for what he did. I believe he really needed, and agree with me or not.
That's a deep
I believe he really needed help, and because it's on record, it's been proven that his mother, I'm not sure if it was his sister.
Yeah,
I mean they were perverted.
Yeah,
it's a perverted family, and they made him perverted. And I mean, some kind of story. I mean, my wife was telling me about a story where, that his mother had some lipstick on the glass.
Yeah.
And he wanted to drink out of that glass and taste his mother's lipstick.
Oh, wow.
You understand what I'm saying? We ain't heard no shit like that about Diddy. You know what I mean? So a motherfucker like that needs some help.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
So you don't think he should have got incarcerated?
I don't think that's not going to solve if R. Kelly was to get out with no help, just being incarcerated.
Yeah.
And come out and do the same thing. Because that perversion, that mental illness has not been addressed.
And that's the case for keeping them in, though.
Keeping them in, okay, so all right. Yeah. All right, so let's say so you believe everybody that commits a crime should be locked up. Because then we got this mental illness. Where's the mental health component?
Yeah, I get it.
I understand if you commit a crime, it's the law.
Right.
We commit a crime, go to jail.
Yeah.
But that leaves out the mental health component. So you're saying,
that's true.
These people don't need help other than the incarceration, maybe the incarceration period.
Yeah.
And then let's do this. You can still be strapped up in the mental health institution.
I got you. And
you know what though?
And you see it every day, all day. You see them rappers and everybody yelling, "Free my man Momo for coming home." But you know what? It is what it is. Momo need to sit in there.
Yeah, because that's protect society. You got to protect society.
You got to protect society.
Okay. Well, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, we could
do that. What I'm saying is R. Kelly needed help. So wherever y'all believe he should have do the time, go to jail for the rest of his life, he's one that really needed help, in my opinion. A lot of people
need help. Like
I think a lot of people, that's right. A lot of people who are in the court system, they definitely need help. The thing is, and this is...
Knowing right and wrong is different, though.
And this
you
is,
know
this
right
is
from wrong.
thing, right?
See, what's the definition of mental illness? Being crazy. You don't know right from wrong.
That's true.
You are truly crazy if you don't know right from wrong. I don't believe R. Kelly knows right from wrong when it comes to that perversion.
So, and that being said, you would not let him babysit your child, right?
Hell no.
And you would not let him. You would not let him fund your school and have access to all the kids.
Well, let me tell you how we are.
No.
And I don't know if this shit been AI or whatever. Yeah, society forgives musicians and stuff like that. So we talking about, let's say it was one of our homies. At the same situation, because R. Kelly can come out right now today and get 50% of probably more of his fan base back. All this motherfucker got to do is make him a hit record. But one of our homies,
and the homie need to get his jaw cracked.
That ain't mentally ill.
That's
not mentally ill. Like you just said, free this, free that. One of our homies do some shit like that.
So
that homie need to get his jaw cracked.
Let me ask you something. Mental health wise, on the mental health side of it. Say a boy is 12 years old and he's getting molested by his father or mother or something, anybody.
It happens.
And but he gets older and he starts doing it. What is, you get what I'm saying?
So inside of that victim is planted the seed of the abuser. And so what you hope is that there can be some type of intervention, that there can be some type of space or environment where that individual can reconcile what happened to them. Like we've worked with, we've seen stories where there's a father, he abuses his children, and those children have children, and those children have the grandfather babysit his grandchildren, and he abuses them. So the children who were the victims send their children to the grandfather to babysit, and he re-abuses them. But see, the fact is that where the healing comes from, and we even witnessed this where one of the older grandkids went to another family member and said, I don't want my siblings to go there because of what's happened. You know, and so because this grandchild was abused, but he had the wherewithal to realize and to try to protect his younger siblings. So that's the wedge that can provide the healing for the family. But when people suffer in silence, and the sad reality is, especially in our community, in the hood, literally, I want to talk about boys right now.
Okay.
Like 1 in 6 black boys is sexually abused. And nobody talks about it. You know, when you think of the juvenile justice system, I'd love for somebody to do a study on how many of those kids that are acting up that are being sexually assaulted. You know, and I mean, that's the reality.
Well,
and even still to this point, no one is really talking about the Diddy case and who he represents to society in regards to the abuse that happens to black boys. You know, that our brothers, our families, our nephews, they are being victimized, you know, and that's the reason why, like, even when I used to see Diddy when he was, I mean, not Diddy, but when 50 Cent was going at him, like, I kept saying to myself, like, man, the dude probably deserve it. Cause he probably dirty with people like that, using his influence and clout to take advantage of people. You know?
Yeah. That could be a way to look at it.
It is what it is. Yeah.
So Diddy, in the trial, did I miss anything about him abusing boys, young boys? Anything come out like that?
Not anything like that.
No.
Again, and I don't think that's the angle. I think that's the reason why he beat the charge, because it's not that type of angle. But again, it is influence and power of an individual who sits in a place and is able to leverage that power that he has over somebody who's vulnerable. And I think that's the angle, and I think that's the sensitivity that transcends whether or not you are an executive in a company and you're doing that to your secretary or whether or not you are a 16-year-old kid doing that to a 9-year-old kid. It's that transfers.
So you say we don't talk about it. I just want to address what you said. We don't talk about it as far as when it comes to young boys as much. Is because of what I just said. I didn't tell anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Boys, us, men, we really don't talk about it. So if we don't bring it up or tell anybody, it's not going to be addressed.
Yeah.
So that's straightforward with the reason for why it's not talked about as much as young girls.
Yeah.
You know, a young girl might even slip up and tell their mother, not even innocently, saying, that man did this to me.
Yeah.
A lot of boys that from the time I've been on this planet, that has not happened.
Yeah. We've been taught to hold it in. You a man. You don't talk about that.
You don't do it. We're held to a different standard.
With you, okay? So to me, when you talk about the influence, to me, that's the prosecution's fault for not bringing that type of case out against them, because those people were consenting adults, if you really want to say. So I can see what you're saying about influence, because they all groupies want to be around them and do this. But that's the prosecution's fault.
It's about how you bring that. Why y'all listen? We can go back to O.J. Simpson. Mm-hmm. Why you think O.J. Simpson got off?
Glove ain't fit.
The prosecution fault. Mm-hmm. Because first of all, O.J. Simpson, I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
Why you run?
O.J. Simpson did not kill Nicole Simpson. Yeah. If the prosecution would have went in the motherfucker and created a case again to find out how it really happened, instead of being focused on fucking locking O.J. Simpson up, he would be locked up for some kind of conspiracy or whatever the case may be, because I do believe that he had it done. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. But it's no different than the Diddy case.
Right.
If the prosecution can't prove what they're trying to prove against Diddy, he's going to get off. Yeah. And that's what happened. Yeah. So that's the law. The law is to be interpreted correctly. The judge is supposed to sit up there and just give instructions to the jury. If you can't prove this case to the jury, you're getting off.
Yeah, I get that. I want to clarify something too, and that is I don't know, and I think we can all speak on this. We don't know Puffy, so we can't tell what he did or what he didn't do, and I can't speak on the man's character because I don't know it. So I can't, I want to be really clear and try to clean up on the sense that like I'm taking shots at him. Mm-hmm. But the fact is that this case and the way in which 50 was going at him, like, I don't really see.
Clay, did that disturb you? You on this 50 thing?
No, because
that shit must have got to you.
Did 50 start his case?
Well, here's the thing: though, 50 was running at him. He was running at him 100 miles, and putting him out there.
What was your issue? Let's be straight up here. What was your issue with 50?
On one side, I
thought 50 do it to everybody. First of all,
he don't do it to everybody.
Yes, he does.
He don't do it to everybody.
He just went it.
Mayweather. He don't care who it is. Mayweather got more money than both of them.
Yeah, but like certain angles, right? So like he ain't never run at Nas. He might have his little thing. He might say a few things about some of them dudes. But it seemed like, to me, it just seemed like for a while he was running at him.
Maybe he ain't really like
He was running at him.
He ain't really like Diddy. He might not like Diddy.
He was play-by-playing him, talking about some, man, I'm here, charges coming. Oh, man, it's all coming down.
That's why I said 50's a cancer, we the same sign. Yeah. We get annoyed by little shit like how a motherfucker look. 50 might not look like how he funny looking to him. He might just want to fuck with him because he funny looking.
It seems a little more than that to me.
I'm just telling you.
Clay, hold on. How did 50 get his start?
Oh, man. I think it was one time where I saw one piece where they were interviewing 50. And maybe either Diddy was near him or they were asking him about him. Oh, no, you know what? I seen a video where Diddy saying to him, like, man, 50, why don't you come hang and party with me? And he said to him, man, why don't we go hang out and we go shopping or something? And 50 was like, shopping? He's like, man, I buy my own stuff. Like, what you talking about?
That's what it is. And how you know you don't know Diddy, we don't know 50 Cent. How you know 50 Diddy might have did something to somebody 50 Cent fuck with.
Could have, but
It could have.
it
You know what I'm saying? Now it could have been anything.
He took what I saw in that moment. He took offense to a dude talking about some man. Listen, I'm gonna take you shopping. I'm gonna take you. Somebody gonna find a clip for us.
He might take that as disrespect, nigga. You trying to son me? You trying to son me or what?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. And I'm saying that to me in that moment, that was a keg. That was lighting a keg. That was something more than just a random. Okay, damn, I'm gonna take you shopping. And it's just like, just let it go.
What
like
you think you're going to have me out? They're like, man, it might have been on some pervert. And now I've seen some videos of Diddy. I feel like from what we've seen, he had this control thing, and he tried to son a lot of people. It's a recent video that was released with, what's my man that's passed? Lauren London husband. Come on.
Lauren London,
in California,
Nipsey
Hussle.
Yeah.
He tried to son Nipsey Hussle, and they were in doing a recording, I believe.
Yeah.
And he told Nipsey Hussle was clapping or something, and he said, "Man, don't." Diddy tried to say, "No, don't clap right now." Blah blah blah, and that shit ain't. Nipsey Hussle wasn't going for it. He said, "I'm gonna still do it. I'm gonna clap when I want to." Pretty much, right. And he clapped. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? After he told him not to, but something like that. And that's probably, it could be something, that's why probably 50 got, like, who are you talking to?
It looked like it was more than that to me, though.
But you tell us, because you the one on it.
What you think?
No, I'm asking you. I asked you, how do you think 50 got his start? Remember controversy? No, he was talking about robbing. He did this to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, I give it to him. He hustles because he keeps relevant. He keeps controversy. So I just want to. I'm trying to figure out how did he know all this stuff? How did he get out there saying about Puffy before the case started?
Some information we don't. That's why they celebrities.
Yeah.
They got their ears to the streets, and they can get a little more access to stuff. So he might have known something.
It was something with 50's wife just come out. Didn't something come out with his wife?
But hold on, y'all got to realize, because I ain't crazy. It's a reason why people call it. You know, oh man, that's some Diddy stuff right there. Like, come on, there's a reason why that's a whole
joint. He tries to son people.
No, it's like more than son. It's a sexual connotation to it. Like they say, oh man, he Diddying it up. What you take that from? You think that's more like a Debo move?
I mean, since the case came up, it's relevant now.
And they were saying
that Diddy is a bully. You think?
Yeah, but a special type of bully. It's not like he wasn't a Suge Knight type of bully. It wasn't no Suge Knight type stuff.
Yes, he is too.
Well, he might have been doing that too, but it was also some other little funniness coming from it.
He is a pervert.
Okay, there we go.
That's what you want to hear?
With the pervert, right? And this is where I'm talking about it. Like when you think of growing up in the hood, growing up in DC, like you said, it was a lot of creepy dudes. It was a lot of pervertedness coming. Some of them had clout. Even with Rayful, right?
All right.
There was a lot of rumors coming up that dude was the freaky dude too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Call a spade a spade.
I ain't got no
cards in the game.
Yeah, we know the same information.
Right. And it was also said that Slim was going around using his power, his money, his clout to get with folks. I ain't trying to spread no rumors. But I'm just saying, this is stuff that if y'all grew up in the city,
pre-social media,
pre-social media,
that is a major factor because these dudes was doing a lot of this. Just like even imagine an older dude going to pick up a young girl from high school while we had camera phones.
Yep.
We all a lot of
Man,
shit would have been all over social media immediately.
Man, come on
now. What I'm saying?
There was even rumors out there Slim paid for sex changes and some other stuff.
All right, well,
that might just be conjecture. It might be, I don't know what it is, but I'm just saying.
Back to Diddy. Diddy is a pervert with money.
Okay.
And,
it's a difference
and power,
pervert.
Not just money.
He's eccentric now because he got a little money.
Yeah.
Okay.
We call it pervert. When you got money, ain't nobody gonna say nothing bad about you.
It's all good until you get caught. That's why I bring up the city, because Diddy wouldn't have been able to do that here.
Yeah.
He would have got crushed by a dude or fucking shit. He would have got crushed.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But something in this day, it's the times as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more perversion. It's more access to perversion. That's why we got to be careful with our young teens, our kids.
Yeah.
Because of what they're seeing every day, social media. But it's just everything is about listen to the music. I always bring up the music, which we don't talk about enough. We grew up on love music, romance, and shit like that. They growing up on everything is sex, sex. The songs, the music they listen to it's pretty much out of control. You know what I mean? It's nothing. There's some things that we just can't do anything about, but we gotta take care of our own as much as possible. But you know, they're gonna be grown as well at some point too, and they're gonna make their own choices. But it's our job to teach them, you know, about that. And I agree with you that young boys should be able to come out more and talk about what happened to them. I didn't have a problem at all. It felt good being able to release that. What I talked about a little while ago, what happened to me when I was 12. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, by the time if it does happen, I'm 54. Look, so I'm just talking about that in a public environment. So you know, if I didn't talk about it all these years, it's too late.
Look, it's too late. So I'm gonna go with let's say you know he's addicted. He might have an addiction. We don't know, but let's say maybe he's getting help while he's in prison. This might help him to become a better person when he comes home because he's been gone. He has a little bit of humble pie. So maybe things have changed for the brother. I just hope you don't hear too many more of his parties going on 2 years from now when he's home and people going, I'm going to Diddy's party.
There's going to be a rise in the stock of baby oil coming up here. But this is a live and a hot conversation. We'd love to hear y'all comments on what y'all thoughts are on the whole situation.
That's right.
You know, we wrapping it up, fellas.
Yeah, but you gonna forgive 50 Cent? Our brother Clay got a problem with 50 Cent, man.
I was on 50 side, man.
You was on his side?
Yeah, I got to call a spade a spade.
So you were just trying to figure out why
he was going at him.
Okay.
Comedian too. What's the little comedian do? He was saying some stuff about
Cat Williams.
Cat Williams was saying something before.
That's what they do.
You know,
I think 50 think he a comedian. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, y'all. For the raps, y'all. Okay. Peace.